So lately, I've been getting thirsty. But drinking water is illegal. Illegal for humans, anyway. Water is for cooling, but data centers. I'd even think electronics and water mixed. And I'm at my breaking point. Something has to change. Now.
Hey, what's up? My name is Matt Workman, and in this video, I'm going to cover in great detail, step by step, how to work with narrative motion animation files that have props, like this cup that you can see here. So unlike kind of traditional game animation where you might take a static mesh and attach it to the character's hand, this is coming from optical mocap, where we're actually tracking the prop while we're tracking the body, and the two of them are synchronized together, and we get this sort of cool effect here that's rather realistic, and the prop can switch between hands. It, of course, can be picked up and whatnot. It can slide around, and it makes everything feel just a little bit more realistic. However, this setup does require a little bit more effort, especially on the MetaHuman side. So to get started, if you want to follow along with this tutorial, Narrative Motion 14 is our currently first and only animation to come with the prop here. We have a prop for the cup, and we've tracked it, and this is sort of our first test of the whole process, and hopefully we do a lot more of these with swords and guns, and having prop interaction is like a big deal for adding realism to any cinematic. So this is the animation that you would need, and so I'll show you what that looks like when you download it. When you download this file, you're going to get three things. We don't have the Fortnite retarget for this one yet, but we have our normal animation here, NM0014, sit table sign A. This is for the UE5 mannequin. Then we have an actual skeletal mesh that's a prop for the cup and says prop. And then we have the animation for that cup. So a little bit different of a setup, but some familiar things as well. So I've created a really simple level. It's just a big landscape with the sun and sky to keep this as clear as possible. The other set's a little bit busier, darker, a lot of lights. It's maybe hard to concentrate there. So to start, we're going to go to animations, and I have, of course, already set this up myself, but I've made a new folder called Mannequin, and I'm going to go through this import process step by step. So let's get Narrative Motion 14, sit table sign A. This is our mannequin version. Maybe I should change the naming convention to say that, actually, but for now it doesn't. So it's SK mannequin, and we're going to import this animation. So here is our imported animation onto the mannequin, and everything's looking really nice, pretty cool. We have some nice solid, like feeling hands stopping on a table. That's something that really only optical mocap does a good job of. And soon we're going to look at what props looks like coming from an optical system as well. So that's step one, get that animation in here. Next, we're going to want to import the cup. So I've already done that here, so I'll do it again though, just to show the process. This is going to be our second cup. We'll import, and that is our skeletal mesh prop Stein A. Bring that in. It's going to make its own skeleton. Now we need the animation for that cup. So again, I've already done this, so we'll just do it again to show the process. And let's import now the Narrative Motion 14 Stein animation here, the cup animation. So the difference here now is that this is an animation for the cup itself, the Stein, and we'll use the second one, not that it matters, they're basically the same here. And when you open this one's pretty funny. If you've never worked with optical props before, it is a floating magical cup. That's what optical prop mocap looks like when it comes in. It's its own complete entity, so pretty funny. You could also make like a ghost cup scene, I guess, if you wanted to out of this. So we have our mannequin animation. We have our new cup, skeletal mesh, and we have the animation for that skeletal mesh. That's everything we need to get started here. So in our little world, we'll get to the MetaHuman in a bit. Let's start with some simple stuff and just do the mannequin itself. So we'll grab Quinn, and I'm going to put her at 0. And then I'm going to also grab our cup. which is under meshes. We'll use the new one. And this also needs to be at 0. So this is important. For this to work, these animations need to be right on top of each other. So wherever this Quinn animation or skeleton mesh is, that is exactly where the cup needs to be as well, or vice versa here. So we could actually parent either to the other or make a null and put it in there. But for now, what feels right is that we're going to put the prop cup and parent that to the skeleton mesh under none, right? So don't try to parent it to the hand or the root bone or anything. Just have it be like a normal hierarchy, right? So all this means is that when I move this into like, wherever it is in the set, that the cup's going to come with me. That's all that matters. That's what we want to do. So next, let's make a sequence and start putting this all together. We'll do sequence here. I'm going to call this Quinn Cup Demo. And let's go ahead and grab both of these skeletal meshes and add them to our sequence. Then we're going to take the control rig off the mannequin. We don't need that. And we'll put on instead narrative motion 14, the sitting animation. So I'm going to zoom out here, put this at the end, and we'll get the full clip here. And again, this is all looking pretty normal. Good so far. And now we're going to put the animation on the cup, and this is where the magic kind of happens. Now the cup looks like it's perfectly stuck to their hand, and we can tell that it's not a static mesh attached to the hand because we do this. We do this move. Can't do that with a static mesh, not without a lot of animation, and that would be a lot of animation. So it's worth looking at this right now really quickly, especially the first pickup is pretty solid. The retarget and animation I'm bringing in from Vicon to the mannequin skeleton and the cup, it's all lined up pretty well, but it's not perfect, right? But we wouldn't want to spend the time cleaning this up right now. We want to retarget this to the MetaHuman, and there's a little bit of a different process that we need to do compared to the tutorials I've done in the past. When we're working with props, we have one extra step. It's not too bad. And then we'll go over just cleaning up the contact of the hand and the cup, which is also pretty easy in Unreal Engine 5. So if you were going to finish with the mannequin, we're all done, but we're going to retarget to whatever your final character is. In this case, it's going to be a MetaHuman. So let's go ahead and delete Quinn, and we'll delete her out of this as well. But we'll leave the cup because the cup animation is going to stay exactly the same. So let's go ahead and bring out a MetaHuman. Kind of get this started. I built a MetaHuman like you would in Unreal Engine 5.6. And we're using the tech wear outfit from Fab that's free. I didn't make it. This is made by Purple Monsters, I think is the name. I always forget the name. I know it's Purple something. Anyway, this MetaHuman, we're going to put them at 000. And just to keep things simple, I am going to just parent the cup under there, just so that they're in the same place, right? Again, not parenting this to the hand, it's just parented so that they stay basically together. That's all that's happening. So right now we need to go retarget the animation to the MetaHuman, and I'm going to show you the wrong way and then the right way. So here we are with our mannequin animation. We're going to retarget this, and we're going to choose our very specific MetaHuman body, which is tech lady here. So you want to choose the MetaHuman's body that you're actually going to use for your final, because MetaHumans now can be really tall, really short, and that will change how the retarget works. So you want to choose the right one. Let's go ahead and then do tech lady's body mesh. It's just hands because of the outfit. And what we're going to do is the same workflow I've shown before, the fast one with the auto retarget, right? And we'll see what happens when you do that. It's not good. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to put this in my animations for the tech lady. This is AS underscore MetaHuman tech lady. I'm going to call this the bad RT, the bad retarget. And we'll send this on its way, and we'll go look at why this is not so great. So let's go ahead and add our MetaHuman to the sequence. Give it a minute. And we'll delete the control rig for the body. And we're going to bring in, if I write NM0014, our bad retarget right there. So this will be a little bit clearer if we have a table. So go ahead and get a better table than this, but for now, I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to get rid of the texture so I can kind of see what's happening. And with optical mocap, you don't really want to change where the props are. The props are just well tracked from what happens in the real world. What we want to do is change how the MetaHuman is trying to follow the props. It depends on what we're doing, but in general, with optical mocap, we trust the props. We change the retarget of the MetaHuman. I think that's a little bit of a saner approach. We also don't have any special rigs to inverse solve or bake onto our cup yet. We could build them, but we don't have any right now. So let's go ahead and watch this. First of all, the hands are through the table. That's not great. And when she grabs the cup, they kind of get separated. So, what's going on, right? So before this, we saw that the mannequin animation as it comes in is pretty close. It needs a little bit of work, but if I brought it back, the hands aren't through the table, and when we contact the cup, it's a lot better of a lineup than this. So right now, this is the fault of Unreal Engine's retarget to the MetaHuman. It's not my fault, but Unreal Engine has evolved quite a bit in UE 5.6, and the retargeting has a lot of ways of fixing this exact same problem. So let's go ahead and delete the bad retarget, and we're going to go retarget it just a little bit better. So let's go back to our MetaHuman, or rather our mannequin animation, and we're going to retarget again. And I'm going to make a folder actually in my MH characters. I already have one, but I'll make a new one. I'm going to call it Tech Lady Retarget for props. That's what we're going to put in there. And again, we're going to go to our mannequin animation, which is lovely. Retargeted quite well for the prop interaction. It's just when we retarget to metahumans, things kind of go bad. So again, Tech Lady body mesh. And what we're going to do is instead of sending it out immediately, we're going to export the retarget assets to that folder I just made, and we're going to go change the retarget. So a little scary, but I'll walk you through it. It's not too bad what we're going to do here. So Tech Lady retarget for props, right? You might have a retarget that's just the normal one. The hands can do whatever, but in this case, we need the hands to be perfectly aligned with our mannequin. That's the goal. So we've created a couple IK rigs and this one, and we're going to call this one Manny to Tech Lady for props, right? And you can have multiple retargets depending on what you're doing. And let's go through this without getting too in depth with what's really happening here. So this is UE 5.6 is the operation stack, and kind of makes it modular what you're doing, and you can adjust certain things. But to start, I'm just going to turn off the FK chains. Those are all perfectly set up automatically for us, really easy. We are going to run the IK rig. And what we want to do is look at a specific animation, and it's our favorite animation, number 14, the Stein Cup. And so what we're looking at right now is to have the hands match. That's what we would like. So we'll zoom in here, and we can see, as we sort of saw in the scene, that the mannequin skeleton has the hands right on the table, and they're actually pretty matched well for the props. But because, again, of the different sized bodies, the hands of the metahuman, they're kind of in the wrong place. We want them to be a little bit higher, right? So what we want to do for this is, again, go to Retarget IK Goals, Details, and we're going to go to Right Arm. And in this case, we're going to blend to source all the way back to 1. We're going to do the same thing for the left arm, blend to source. So now it's really prioritizing the retarget from the mannequin to the metahuman. The IK retargeter is prioritizing keeping the hands basically exactly where the source animation is, because that's where the prop's going to be. So that's all we're going to do for now. There's a lot more to cover in here, depending on what we're cleaning up and adjusting for. But for now, for props, for hands, that's all we need to do. Let's go all the way to 1, and we'll save this retarget. So not too bad, right? It could be a lot worse. Retargeting gets very hectic later on, but UE 5.6 has made it like very easy. Let's do Tech Lady. Luckily not case sensitive. The body mesh, and we're not going to auto retarget. We are going to use the one that we just made, which is the Tech Lady props version of it. And we're going to go get our favorite animation. Either of these will be fine. And we're going to do animations, Tech Lady, AS, MetaHuman, Tech Lady. I'm going to say props, right? This is the props retarget. And we'll export that out. And we'll go check how it looks in Sequencer. So there's our new prop retarget. And we'll plop that here. If I say narrative motion 14, we have our props retarget there, and boom, the hands. This is a good start. Look at that. The hands are already right on top of the table. And let's look at our first push and grab. Much better. Still not perfect, but much, much better. It's going to be way less work to clean this up now. So that is our retargeting tweak for mannequin to metahumans. When you're dealing with props, optical props like we'll have from narrative motion, the props are in real world space being captured very accurately, and it's really up to the retargeting process to try to get the hands back onto them. But the props are really the boss, and the metahuman's just kind of following along. So for the short film I made to demo this, I didn't even do any cleanup, but I do want to show you how pretty easy it is to fix. Like, this seems kind of like a glaring error, right? Like a kind of a big problem. If you were to get close up, you could just see like, oh, like what's going on there, right? So let's go ahead and we'll just do like a quick, 5-minute cleanup pass of this. It's not going to be bad at all. But once we get our retarget as good as we can from Unreal Engine, we'll then go up and do some manual cleanup. We're still not going into curve, so it's not that bad, but we can do some stuff really easily here. So we're going to add a layered control rig to the body, and it is the MetaHuman control rig here. And we're just going to clean this up. It's not going to be that much work, or rather it's as much work as you want to put into it. But I'm going to give just a couple minutes here, and I'll show you how just drastically that can be fixed. So we want to go IK arms for both. And we're going to drop a keyframe. Actually, it already did drop a keyframe. That's fine. We'll just put it right there. That's fine. So just keep IK arms on the whole time. So let's take a kind of a big picture glance at what we want to get done here. I think this view sort of describes it, and we can bring the table up. Again, the prop is the boss, right? Don't mess with the prop. Make everything else fit the prop. So let's go through the action. So it's in the beginning, it is a pass to the right hand, needs cleanup. It's a pickup, put down, right? We see that grip, not the most satisfying, right? We're going to fix that. Hits the table. Hands are pretty good with the table. Picks it up, not the best grip. Puts it down. Toss back and forth. Shake, shake, shake. And down, right? So not that much to fix at all. To start, though, let's go ahead and grab like kind of a neutral pose here. And again, the cup is the boss, okay? So get your prop, scale your table, whatever. Let's get this like right there, right? So that's our goal here. And we might need to, you'll see that the legs are in here, but that's fine for the angle, right? Maybe we'll do something like this. So get your prop lined up with the table. It's probably level. The table I captured with this is a little shaky. So you'll see if I hit my hands on the table, this shakes. We would need to track the table in that case. But for now, let's just go with it, right? It's not going to be that noticeable. So let's go ahead and start this cleanup process. It's not going to be too bad. So the first one here is going to be a blend from, first of all, we need to come up off of the ground. So let's just set our neutral. Actually, I'm going to go delete all these keyframes. This happens to me all the time. I don't know why. I just kind of get like rogue keyframes when I'm doing this at the beginning. I'm sure I'm like hitting some button. I'm just like not realizing. But yeah, all of these we don't need. I don't know what's going on with this. So we'll just get rid of all these starter keyframes that I always have this happen. I don't know why. But anyway, we just wanted to keyframe down the global control. So let's start with the left hand. So first of all, the left hand, let's get it back. There's a bunch of like good animation tools for like just selected controls and stuff like that, but I don't have that knowledge on me right now. I'm just going to do it old school. Let's go ahead and start by just bringing this whole thing off the ground, right? Out of the table. That's helpful. You could then grab the elbow too. I'm not going to do that though. Let's just drop this keyframe here. And let's look at our first contact point. I'm going to drop a keyframe here, and we're going to kind of fix the first contact point. It's not too bad. Like this. It's really just an offset, right? So let's go ahead and just bring this back like here, something like this. And how is that? Is that the actual touching? I don't really want to go down, but it is certainly a little off this way. So it could be down here. And again, now the relative motion is all going to be fine, right? So grabs it, pushes it, pretty much cleaned up. I'm going to hit a keyframe there, and we're going to stay above the table with the left hand. So left hand's done for now. So let's look at our right hand. Let's go back here. Does it start in a good place? It's kind of fine. I'm just going to arbitrarily drop a key to get us started. Oh, that was at 0. So yeah, okay, great. So we slide over, And we're looking at our first contact point. Not great. So let's move it here, and we'll blend in from there. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And as we grab here, let's just do an offset. Again, I'm in world. This is, to me, this is a very world kind of fix. And we'll just kind of do that, right? Just get the fingers sort of through the cup, right? It was close, but just a little off. And now, because it's relative, it's all going to just sort of match kind of fine. And we're just looking for our next problem blend point. Here, could use a little bit of love, I think, like maybe if we like really care. As we go to there, it's not quite right. So we could just kind of scoot the hand back in. Not that bad. Cool. Slams down. It's a pretty satisfying slam. Let's see how that looks from this angle. Bam. Right? Pretty good. So at this point now, all of our adjustments have pushed the hand through the ground. So again, from about here, we'll just kind of blend back for the slam. There it is. And let's bring it back up, right? So it's just this process over and over again through every motion. If you care, if the angle you chose, it's really featuring it. This is the sort of retargeting cleanup that you're going to have to do no matter what, right? Doesn't matter how clean you captured it. When you retarget to a different skeleton, things are a little different. Her arm's a little bit through the table, right? We could tweak the elbows at the end, right? So we have a little bit of a break here. Not much going on. They're just tapping the floor. And here we looks like we're about to go for a grab with a tiny adjust. So let's go to here, keep this, and let's nail the land. Let's nail this grab here. So the connection isn't perfect, right? So it's just fingertips. It'd be good to have video reference, but it's kind of like a fingertip grab there. And the pickup, how's the hand pickup looking? Not bad. It'd be good to have reference. I'm going to do a little bit of a tweak, though, from about here. We'll do a little bit of a slide. I'm going to put the thumb above, like that. Right, so it's kind of hidden. I think the thumb kind of sneaky slides through. Not too bad. Shake, shake, shake. We shouldn't need to do very much after this part. The hand should just be stuck on there. A tricky thing is now that this cup isn't quite going into her head the right way. That would require a bit of a work on, I think, the actual cup's position, which I'm not going to do right now. We don't have a rig for the cup. But let's just go ahead and say that that was fine. This push looks okay to me. And let's now go work on the left hand over there. And we're almost done with this. Let's go ahead and say that from about there, it's fine. We'll just kind of safety this. And let's look at what's happening here. Oh, it's actually good. That seems fine to me. Nice little grab. Oh, okay. So now is where it gets a little crazy, right? Okay, cool. So we do this. I think we have some occlusion here. This is kind of a funny pickup. We're picking the cup up by its kind of like lip, but not too bad. And then we throw it. It's fine. And then here, I'm going to just kind of try to catch this blend a little bit better. Let's blend this hand again to match the prop, right? The prop is right. The hand's just a little bit wrong. And also maybe the calibration on the prop is just a little bit off by like, a centimeter or two like that. That's going to happen. I didn't 3D scan the cup. I just kind of modeled it by hand in a little photo. But now when we throw it back, at least it's like, kind of close here. Kind of come up with this, and we just kind of chase that cup as much as we care, right? And then from here, I'm just going to blend back. And the elbows, we could do a pass on the elbows, but I'm just going to do hands for now. I could do a pass on everything if you wanted to. This is sort of what the first pass of like motion editing might look like for props. It's a sort of detailed endeavor, right? So the hand is basically done. That left hand is a wrap, great. So let's just go ahead and look at the right hand and just get some, again, contact points cleaned up. It should be pretty easy. So we throw over, and then we're back here. That's all fine to me. That looks fine. The flip, and then here, it's not too bad. I don't know if I really want to fix this at all, but we could. I think from here it looks pretty good. I like how that looks. And then by there, maybe we've just like, I don't know, we come up like a little bit just to do that a little bit better. Yeah, I see we're like not connected. So right, just got to put the hand back on the cup, right? And then you find your next point where it's a problem, which is like about here. And we'll just kind of bring it back. And yeah, this is a lot of work, but if you want perfect hand connection on props that are optical or like the table, you're just always babysitting these little sort of like interactions. So here, It's not quite making it there. Oops, that's not the greatest direction. I don't believe in hitting undo in Unreal Engine. That's sort of a treacherous button. We don't do that too much, so I'll just go grab it and go up. And it's a little off, but we'll just keep going with it. Let's look at the slam. I want the slam to be right. So here, we'll go back and put the hand here. And how is it when we slam down? Bam. Okay, cool. And then right here, we'll just blend it back to the table. So I don't know how long that was. Hopefully this doesn't scare people too much on how much work this could be, but trust me, I don't even have the curve editor open. It could be much, much worse. So we'll kind of scoot the hand over there, and we could even kind of scoot the left hand out of the way, right? So this is stuff that happens with retargeting. Just the hands start to kind of collide with each other, and props don't line up perfectly. But again, if your optical solve in the beginning is good, like it is from narrative motion, then it's just this amount of work, and then you get like an almost perfect finish. So here's our victory lap after a very small amount of motion editing here. Motion editing plus retargeting and optical props. Now we have this rather impressive scene from an animation point of view. If you think about if you just had no prop and you had to animate that cup to go along with the hands, that is a level of animation that I am certainly not capable of. I don't consider myself an animator and maybe a bit of a technical animator at this point. Hand wasn't the best right there. But I can certainly just move connection points back and forth, right? And just kind of edit the motion. That's pretty much where I tap out for most of my animation. So that wraps up for this video. I would consider this intermediate if you want to start using the narrative motion animations that have props with guns, swords, cups, anything like that is going to require a special type of retargeting and then just a little bit of babysitting to make sure that the hands are as close as possible. And that's up to you with how much work you want to put into it. So that wraps it up for this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.